Capricorn, Happy New Year, Happy 2020, and most of all, Happy birthday. This is Capricorn season, so I think we're going to have to do it. Since we missed it last year, we are definitely going to have to bring out the big band, the big dancers, the big glitter ball, the big everything, and go big style here this month for you, because happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Capricorn who are born in January, happy birthday to you, happy birthday January Capricorns, and to the December Capricorns, I hope you had a fabulous birthday. This is a big month. It's a very, very big month. We've eclipses. We have your ruler, Saturn-Pluto conjunction happening here this month. We've a new moon in Aquarius. We've a lot. So what's that going to mean for you? Well, let's get to the cards. We're going to shuffle them, do as we always do, and talk about the big changing energies for you in your birthday season. And you know, I think the biggest birthday gift that's coming your way this month, my love, well, there's a few gifts, but the biggest one is this feeling of no longer giving a damn about what other people are saying about you, what other people are doing around you, how other people react to you, how other people criticize you, how other people are giving you love or how they're not giving you love. There's just this moment where the lightning switch goes off and you are just saying, genuinely, sincerely, I don't give a shit anymore. And that is my birthday gift. Thank you very much, because for the longest time, as I was transforming, as I was getting out there, trying to make fresh new starts in my life, trying to handle all the changes that have been going on in my life, I've been doing it with a sense of gauging my growth against other people. You know, well, do they like me? How do they see me now? Am I acceptable now? Are the things I'm doing and creating and pushing forward with, are people liking it? You know, what do they think? And again, the gift is a big 2 fingers, middle finger, all your fingers, how many fingers you want, up to it, and saying, I genuinely don't care. And I love that feeling. I love that feeling of no longer being triggered or waiting for other people to judge me, waiting for other people to say where I'm going wrong and what I'm doing wrong in my life. And again, this other feeling of waiting for other people's love. Well, the wait is over. Tick tock, divine timing has kicked in. I'm not waiting. You had your moment, you had your time, I'm not waiting. And there's a wonderful feeling here as I'm tuning into the energy, Capricorn. A feeling of relief, a feeling of release, and a feeling of, well, now that I don't care so much about certain people, groups of people, or situations, or what other people think of me, now that I don't care as much, it gives me more space to go kind of, and how would you say, get back into relationships with people, but from a different space, where there's a better balance here, or maybe a little bit off balance, where you're feeling a little bit stronger in the dynamic. So for example, if you have been waiting for somebody to give you respect, for somebody to give you love, for somebody to tell you what you need to hear, for somebody to be there for you, there's just, again, that moment of, it doesn't matter. But what matters now is that I'm in this sense of not caring, so I can do as I please. I was going somewhere with that. Look at the first card helping out. Your world is changing. I was going somewhere else with that. I get the feeling with the eclipse happening this month on January 10th, full moon lunar eclipse in Cancer in your 7th house, that there is definitely at least one person, maybe even a family member or somebody that you had a very strong emotional bond to, that kind of, it's like it's allowed to drift away. It doesn't seem to be any huge drama, even though it's an eclipse. Usually you kind of expect stuff like that. It's more like even if I tried now, I couldn't care for them. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't feel anything for them. Even if you really put me under pressure, I can't generate a feeling that's not there. So there's like a natural goodbye between you and somebody else where there was a bit of pressure to get on. But the strange thing is, as you say goodbye, for some of you, it's almost like now that all the heavy emotion is taken out of it, wait, stop where you are. Let's start again. Let's try again, but we're totally different with each other this time. So that could be something happening, unraveling very strong negative emotional bonds around a person or a situation, and then saying bye, and then having that, but wait, is there something here now that we're different people, now that we're looking at it from a different perspective, now that we see it from a less tense place? Can we start over? So that's really sweet. I like that. I like that energy. So that's the big groove that's going on for your birthday, that the universe is giving you the gift of time's up on the relationships that weren't working up until now. Time's up for you caring about that so much. Time's up for you worrying about what other people think of you. And time's up for the negative relationships that you've had. But yet there is still a little bit of time left to recover and re-establish a connection again with somebody, but in such a different, completely different way. I like that. I really like that. So that's birthday gift number 1. So what is Venus going to give you, the goddess of love? She's in your second house, and she is giving you the gift of kind of getting your way, Capricorn. You're able to, you've got a good, charming way about you this month. You're able to speak things into existence. You're able to communicate, definitely. The first half and the second half of the month, when Venus moves into the third house also, it's like you're able to have conversations with people where it's not all arguments, but it's all very gentle. And again, this thing of, all you have to do is ask. You're dangerous this month in that way, Capricorn, because there's a feeling of, if you just ask, you'll get it. If you just open your mouth and say, this is what I want, this is what I expect, and this is what I'm going to get, then you kind of, it's like you get it. You can sell anything to anybody this month. You can communicate anything to anybody this month. You can, when it comes to business, trade, travel, anything like that, it just flows. It flows so sweetly, and you'll be enjoying it. And in some cases, in the first half of the month, there might be cash gifts, gifts of vouchers, gifts of things that are kind of expensive, and you're saying, I expect nothing less. But you will be spoiled. I have to say that. There's a feeling of being spoiled. Even the December birthday babies, something is happening even in this month where there's a level of spoiling that's still happening. Now, there's also the feeling here this month, particularly in the second half, where there's a real need for you. I feel a real need for you to start over a relationship with a family member that might have been quite tense, but again, in that different way, less problematic, and like a new, fresh way to do it. But there's also a desire for you to get really into comfortable and luxurious things. So you might be at home really indulging in good food, expensive wines, expensive things to wrap around your house. There's just that feeling of, it might cost a few coin, but more important than that, it's got to feel like it's expensive. Even if it was cheap, there's a feeling of, I just want the good stuff, the luxury, the feeling like I'm surrounded with the finest going on for you this month, and so you shall be. So the sun is in the first house. The sun is just beaming on you. It's like, stand back, everybody, big beam on Capricorn. It's like, hello, hello. There's no hiding this month, Capricorn, because you're out in the forefront. So again, if you have something that you want to share, communicate, if you have something particularly that depends on your presence, your very physical presence, to kind of push out there, do it. Like if you have to go to a meeting this month or convince somebody for a promotion or to sell something or clients or anything like that, it's your very physical presence that looks good, that's given off this big vibe of, success. And again, that feeling of you can do anything. You can really do anything. It's like you'll be wandering around town, wandering through the stores, wandering into offices, meeting your clients. And it's like, wow, here comes Capricorn. There is that light shining on you. You're going to be very glowy this month. Yeah, even in a month where there's an eclipse, you're very, very glowy this month. So that's why I'm saying to you, this is the start of 2020. It's a new decade. It's a new era. It's a whole new chapter where there are still a lot of big changes going on for this year, but a lot of blessings coming your way too. There's a feeling of push yourself out there. Be proud of yourself. Be confident like you've never been before, never ever been before. Confident in that absolute, it's coming from inside here way. And again, like I said, for some of you, so boldly confident that you've never done this before. Not brash, not arrogant, the fine difference. Do it with a bit of class, Capricorn, which I've no doubt you'll do. But it's confident. And stay steady with that, because this is almost like the energy of start as you mean to go on. This is the bedrock of the next decade. This is the starting foundation of what's to come later. Your mind is getting sharper. Mercury is in there for a while. Your mind is getting sharper with your ideas. It's usually at birthday times, there is that strong feeling of being out there, doing your own thing. But with you this month, this year, it's different. It's like an excessive push out and really pushing yourself away from competitors, pushing yourself away from people who might kind of be judging themselves against you. It's like you're pushing yourself way out front. And because you're so way out front, you can't hear the noise of the bitches that you've left behind. So you're not bothered by other people's judgment. You're not bothered by other people and their foolery. You're really setting yourself up this month for the rest of the year and perhaps even the rest of the decade to be totally in front, face front, out there. Pay attention to Capricorn. And this is what you're going to be seeing for a long while. So get used to it and love it. It's stronger than usual. And the blessings that come when you step out totally unbothered and given your full Capricorn shine, then the blessings arrive. It's almost like it was a difficult thing for you to do, Capricorn, to get so unbothered by other people. But if you push past it this month and really allow that click, that switch to go off in your head and say, I'm leaving them behind. I'm leaving them in the dust. I have things that I'm doing in my life that are possibly so different to what I've done before that there's no room for anybody to tell me where I'm going wrong, because I'm trailblazing in my own life. So how do they know whether I'm going wrong? It's up to me now to make that pioneering path. So very, very, very strong. Now, excuse me, you have Mars in the 12th house this month also. And for many of you, this could be the feeling of putting a huge amount of energy into something that's quite private. Private research, private investigation, private analysis of something. wanting to spend a bit of time on your own, maybe to meditate, or with Mars there, it's very physically active. Private exercise, like your New Year's resolution could be to get up early in the morning and do something in your home, like exercise for half an hour or whatever. It's like privately putting a lot of effort into something on your own. Do things like martial arts, tai chi, yoga, things like that. A lot of energy going into something spiritual where the body meets spirituality. That could be something you're getting really interested in this month. And putting your spirituality into action. This is what my intuition tells me to do. This is what my ancestors are telling me what to do. This is what my divine guidance is telling me what to do. I have learned over the last while that there are movements, that there are right times to do things, that there is a celestial hand at work here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get really into that. And I'm going to follow the flow where my intuition is leading me. My next steps of action are going to be coming from my spiritual source, whatever that might be, whatever that might be. And I am generating more energy in my life by having the backup of trusting my really deep intuition and trusting that there are bigger things at play that maybe I don't understand. There's a real level here of saying, I accept that I don't understand everything. But even though I don't understand everything, I am certain that there's love behind what's pushing me forward. So if I can't trust the details, I will trust the goodness that's pushing it. I know that sounds very unusual, but maybe through the month you might feel that. A certain level of trust being renewed in what you would deem as your spirituality, the cosmos, universe, God, whatever. I trust it, and I don't have to know all the answers. Sometimes things are a mystery. Sometimes there's a reason for them being mysteries. Maybe if we knew all the answers, then it would feel like it's game over. Maybe the thing that's actually really motivating us is that we don't know. And maybe that's where the magic allows us to dive further into the unknown. So again, a lot of very spiritual and deep things going on for you this month, Capricorn, as you're making the transformation. This card leapt and hopped, and it would of course be the Sun in Capricorn card coming out there. Just waiting on two more. Uranus is going direct this month in your 5th house. Having fun, feeling like you're going to create something fantastic in your life is definitely pushing forward. Doing something, we've talked about this now so many times, and I'm really feeling it. Doing something creative or doing something fun that's a bit of a risk, a bit forward thinking. You see, we've talked about it before, I told you, but it's like taking huge leaps of faith into the possibilities of what can happen in your future. There's a great level of trust. I trust the madness of the cosmos. I trust the mess. I trust the insanity of it. I trust it. I haven't a clue what it's doing, but this is the first time that I feel like I'm having fun in the crazy cosmic energy. And I'm going to kind of start doing some crazy things too. Oh, your last card. Deep, passionate love. Singles, hello. Maybe at the end of the month, excuse me, there is some deep love. Now, so my love, let's go over to your big grand, ta-da, your birthday cards. Let's have a look. So, you have to excuse me, by the way, I'm recording these and I am absolutely smothered with a flu. I'm kind of getting a little bit better now, but if I kind of look a bit fluish, you kind of know what's happening. But there was no way this year again I was going to miss the Capricorn reading. That just was not going to happen. So flu or no flu, we're going to get through this. So let's begin, my love. So the world is changing. The world is changing. And you know what it's inviting you to do? It's inviting you to start wishing again. This is the wish card, but it's in a state of chaos. In other words, it hasn't been bloody used before. And I also feel for some of you, maybe with the eclipse energy here, yes, start wishing again. But more than that, it's like there was a wish that you had. And this month you're being shown all the reasons why it wasn't a good idea for that wish to come true. And all the good reasons why you're turning things around and starting wishing for something different. That's where you're being guided. Start wishing for something different. You know the phrase, sometimes God's greatest gift is unanswered prayers. And that's what I'm feeling is happening here for you. A real eye-opening moment. I had been pushing and pushing and pushing for something. And you know what? I think I'm glad that that didn't happen. I'm now going to start wishing my birthday wishes on something totally different. And again, Capricorn, I'm feeling like it's way outside of the box. It's maybe wishing for a love that's completely different to the love that you had before. If you're in a relationship, wishing for something totally different for you and your partner to do so you can reignite the adventure in your love life. Reigniting an adventure that you thought was lost. There's a feeling of lost and found here this month with Mars in the 12th house, recovering things that you thought were lost. You thought you lost something. Maybe you thought you lost somebody, but maybe what was being lost was the unhealthy connection. And for some of you that you can start over again in a healthier way, in what I feel a totally different way. Something that was lost is being found. Or some wish that you had is disappearing. But as it disappears, it's like you find something in it and say, but that's not lost. I can revive that part of it and start wishing for that to come true. Now, I know it sounds very cryptic. It's very difficult to read eclipse energies, by the way. But it's that feeling of my world is changing. Because I'm going back to the basics of who I am and I'm turning it all around. I'm going back to, excuse me, the basics of a project, the basics of a relationship, the basics of how I become healthy and fit, the basics of something of my business plans, my strategies for my career, my ambitions, my goals. I'm taking one step into my future by going back to the basics. And in some way, it's a strange thing. It's like recovering something that you thought was lost, twisting it completely around, repackaging it, remodeling it, and saying, you know what, this was what I wanted to do originally. This is how I wanted it to be originally, before it got all twisted and turned. And I'm getting stronger in doing that. Yeah, I hope that makes sense to you. Yeah, so the eclipse energies can be very cryptic like that. I'm just hoping that you get what I'm saying. But I do strongly feel there is a family connection between you and somebody else being healed. And it might mean that either you or this family member needs to do one of two things. It's like they need to travel to see you or come to see you, or you need to go to see them and spend a bit of time talking to them. But that's one situation. But the other thing is a family connection gets healed because you're coming out with force as a different person. Now, I'm not saying it was your fault that there's a connection that needs to be healed, but as you're emerging with great force into being a different person, it's the act of being different that somewhat changes the connection. You know? I also see some of you really using a great level of force to start a new project. You really want something new to happen, a new project, a new wish, a new ambition. And maybe even for some of you, some new course of action to live somewhere differently perhaps, or make your home that you're in more comfortable in some way, shape or form. There's a level of changing your world, having new desires, having new ambitions, reworking an old dream, and at the same time realizing you have to come way out of a comfort zone in order to do something that you really want to do. Now, mid-month, the Queen of Earth, whether you're male or female, mid-month you're going to feel this thing of sitting back and enjoying all the luxury. And the strange thing is, even in the midst of all this good feeling, we're still getting that energy that we spoke of earlier of losing a connection with somebody. It's like turning somebody away, saying, look, I know you've got good intentions, I know you mean well, but you know what, don't come at me with that emotional emptiness I feel. Emptiness. If you're going to ride up on your horse and present me with something, make it a good thing. You know, if you're coming to my house for a birthday dinner or lunch, make sure you bring a good gift. maybe, but it's more than that. It's like, don't come at me with an empty energy. You're very sensitive, it feels this month, Capricorn, to other people's energy. Very sensitive. And there's a kind of feeling of, I never noticed before how these people are empty. That's just the word I keep hearing, empty. There's a fakeness to them. There's a falseness to them. There's a kind of fake level of care, fake love. It's all superficial. And there's a feeling of you sitting back on the throne and saying, this is ridiculous. I don't need this. I do also get the feeling there is one person around you this month. They could have Sun, Moon or Ascendant in Cancer, but there's or another water sign, but there's a feeling of something very false going on with the connection between the two of you. And you're just not liking it. And the feeling of you sitting back and saying, what the hell is wrong with you? And even a feeling of you getting somewhat annoyed and saying, getting annoyed at the fakeness and saying, do you think I need to be putting up with this in Capricorn season? Do you think this is good enough? Do you think this is acceptable? Coming into my home, coming into my space, coming into my life with this fakery. You don't think I see it? You don't think I see it? And I'm sitting back enjoying this month, feeling totally in the groove. And I'm watching that you're finding it difficult to see me in a good place. Okay. So you have somebody, I think, mid-month making it very clear. No, they're not making it clear. It's almost like it's revealed. They can't hide it. Mars in the 12th house, rooting out the truth, the deep truth of something. And there's a feeling of being around a person that always kind of gave you a bit vibes, but now you're seeing something about them that's really, it's really like you're shaking your head and you're saying, did you really think that you could? Did you really think that I wouldn't notice that you're not happy when I'm happy? It's almost like somebody coming into your birthday party vibe, or somebody coming into your scene this month bearing gifts. But there's a jealousy there, or there's a, why do you get to have all of this? Jealousy. 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 Where could that be coming from? Again, for me it seems to be somebody with Sun, Moon or Ascendant in water. And you're telling them, back away, get on your horse and off you go, because I'm not interested. But why this seems to be important, Capricorn, is because there's a feeling of you noticing it, but yet being totally okay with it. This is not a time of getting triggered by it and getting, why do they think like that about me? Why are they behaving like that? It's different. It's you saying, you know, it's like an eye roll. It's you saying, you don't belong. You don't belong here. And I'm not triggered or bothered by it. But again, I do see somebody in kind of competition with you, Capricorn, but it doesn't seem to be negative competition. I get the feeling somebody could be inviting you somewhere, maybe for your birthday, inviting you somewhere that you do something competitive, like a game or a sport. And it's something I think you'll really enjoy. So if there's an invitation this month, come, let's see how good you are at this. Let's see how good you are at, I don't know, something. I'll challenge you. So there's a challenge. You're being challenged to do something. But I think there's fun in this challenge. And I think there's something in it too. Because I get the feeling, and I shouldn't say this, but I think you might win. And what this seems to be doing is, again, giving you more confidence. There is healthy challenges going on between you and other people that are, it's like carving you, refining you, defining you, and you're saying, that's what I needed. A healthy challenge with somebody to bring my confidence back. Only you. That feeling of pushing yourself ahead also because you feel like you're doing very well when you're going up against people with something. Again, is a competition or going up against them. These are not bitter rivals. These are people who are your peers. They're kind of as good as you, shoulder to shoulder. And there's a feeling of, let's do it and see who fares best. And again, this might sound very trivial, but what seems to be happening in this good, healthy competition is that something happens to you. A trigger is set off where you're saying, now that I'm running, now that I'm picking up speed, now that I feel that the wind is at my back, I want more of this. I want to keep going. I want to keep going, winning under friendly competition. And you know, if it's something to do with the work that you're doing or having to convince people of something, it's a feeling of your charm. With Venus in the second house at the start of the month, your charm is winning things, winning people over. Even winning over very difficult people with your ability to charm them. Now, the friendly competition, by the end of the month, I have to say, turns into fierce competition. There's somebody, I feel it, Capricorn, there's somebody around you, workspace, family, friends, somebody around you who, a lot of people with healthy competition, but there's somebody with some very unhealthy attitudes, unhealthy vibes. And you might find that they come in charging against you towards the end of the month. Maybe from around January 18th onwards, there's a feeling of, well, let's see how good you are. You think you're the shit? Let's test that. There's a feeling of somebody coming in. It's like an unhealthy attack. But this is the Sun in Capricorn. You win. You win. But there's a feeling of, I need to be more sure of defending myself against these people who are coming in with all their bullshit, coming in with all their unnecessary aggravation. So there's a feeling at the end of the month of defending yourself and winning against somebody who, again, they've set themselves up against you, I feel. But you win. There's egg on their face. I feel that. Whatever they've been challenging you, it's almost like they thought that other people would be on their side when they pit themselves against you. It turns out they weren't on their side, they're on your side. And there's definite egg on their face. But again, this is a moment of you saying, I've got to get serious about pushing these people out of my life. Eclipse in the 7th house. I've no connection to these people. I don't give a shit about these people. Who are are they? I'm not inviting them anymore to anything I'm doing. They're external people. They're nothing to do with me. I've no business being around them anymore. So there's a strong feeling of that. Why do I keep being around them if they mean nothing to me now? And they're aggravating me? All the more reason to say, bye, bitch. You know, and getting very strong about that. Getting very, well, I have every right to do that. There's nothing weird in me doing that. I'm totally unbothered by saying that and doing that. Why should I care about you? Who are you? There's a strong feeling of that towards the end of the month. There's a real feeling of being able to separate the healthy people around you. And you're determining them by people who are spurring you on. Healthy challenges, healthy teasing, healthy competition, healthy encouragement, and the contrary to that. And you're saying, why? If you're not helping me, if you're getting in my way, if you're just being a bitter bitch, what are you doing here? Who invited you? That's the vibe. That's the vibe. And that's the communication that you're having. There's a kind of, cutting communication with these people. And then to do what? To move on, feeling more content in yourself, feeling more balanced. Now, I'm going to say this. There is an energy here of you separating the wheat from the chaff here. There's a new moon in the second house on the 24th of January. And there's a feeling of very good luck comes your way when you are separating out, weeding the garden a little bit here and only running towards those people who are now helping you grow. I feel strongly that for some of you, there's a new union. It could be a business partnership, a new job, a new connection with somebody that's helping you to go further. Somebody that's very inspirational. You're kind of saying, I want to be part of this. I want to go where you're going. I want to do something with you. I want to be part of something with you. I want to get working, get moving, get forward thinking with you. And I'm going to love this. But also for some of you at the end of the month in a relationship, you're getting stronger, really emotionally stronger with your partner. Whatever challenges came up there between the two of you, and they might come up for your birthday month, I have to tell you, by the end of it, there's like a big purging and the communication changes. You're diving deep with your communication to get rid of the confusion, and then both of you emerge really madly, truly, deeply in love with each other again. And for the singles, the end of the month, maybe your birthday gift is closing the month by seeing somebody and maybe falling in love with somebody very, very special. This is not average love. This is full on, giving it your full force. I want this. This is attractive. This is beautiful. And the other person thinking the same way about you. So there's a lot. There's a lot of love. There's a lot of beauty. There's a lot of good feeling. And there's a lot of waving goodbye to the ones who belong to the last decade. Yeah, enjoy all that darkness as it disappears, because I'm moving forward with the sun shining on me. And it's as simple as that. Happy birthday to me. My first gift is getting rid of you. And moving ahead with such a level of positivity. So it's really beautiful. Capricorn, my love, I'm going to leave it at that. Now you know these are the general birthday energies. I say this every month to get to the details of what's going on in your birthday. You know to come to the Vimeo readings, the deep read. In the description box down there below, there's a link to the deep read. Click into it, come on over, and we'll open up your birthday cards in greater detail. We'll focus on love for the couples, love for the singles, money, career, your ambitions, where they're going, family, home, friends, and everything that we don't talk about here. We'll give it some really deep focus in the deep read. So come over. I'll see you over there, my love. And if not, if we're going to leave it at that, have a wonderful birthday month. And I'm going to leave you, as always, with all my love And a great, great, great big Capricorn season birthday kiss from me to you. Mwah. My beautiful. Until next month. Bye.